Remember, life, the universe, and everything is all about choice. You choose to listen to this riff. So remember, your complaints are your own. You can pick anything else, but you chose not to. But I'll tell you what, guys. If you promise not to complain that much about this riff, after I'm done with Brighted Discord, I might, just might, read you a Fairly Odd Parents and Equestria Girls crossover that I've been eyeing for a while. That, or a Code Geass crossover, because I'm in a Code Geass mood and I don't think that's leaving anytime soon. Meanwhile, this chapter, Chapter 16, Comic Catastrophe. Oh, I would also like to formally apologize for reading this chapter. I'm trying to stick to the main plot points, and I've been trying to stick to the important crap. You know, the temple arcs, the end storyline with Armageddon and all that. I've been trying to stick to that. But unfortunately, I looked ahead and I found out that this chapter is responsible for Link getting an important item and meeting up with an important character. So sadly, even though this has all the trappings of a filler episode, this is in fact not a filler. Which, I want to remind you all listening to this, what filler really is. Filler was a term used by manga readers to point out things that never existed in the actual canon story when the anime decided to add something. For example, Gullick Jr. He was never in the canon manga of DBZ. Oh sure, he was added to it. He had episodes, but he was never in the manga. A lot of those scenes of Goku and Frieza staring at each other, that was filler too. Filler was always a manga-oriented term. However, people, mainly on the internet, have gone on to abuse this term, to make it so it means, well, for want of a better term, stuff I don't like in the anime. It has gone on to be used to refer to stuff that's actually happened in the manga. Yes, somebody has actually called one of the flashback episodes of Bleach, plus the whole entire tuning exam, as filler. You know, the tuning exam. The one that basically gets the plot rolling. They refer to all those bits as filler. People have abused it to the point where they can use it to mean anything. But I want to take this moment and do this PSA to describe to you what a real filler is. A filler is something where no character development happens, no story is progressed, and they don't get any weapons. For example, since Sailor Moon is so full to the brim with episodes that are not manga related, it's kind of hard to tell what a filler is. That beach episode where the Senshi are just hanging around, that's filler. It does not add anything. The episode where Makoto goes off to the mountains to train after losing to Haruka, that's not filler. That is important to her character. Now, I know what you're thinking, little Timmy. But, Bringer, how can I tell what's filler in an anime-originated thing like, say, Gundam? Well, Timmy, that's where you're going to have to use your better judgment. And think to yourself, did anybody grow in this episode? Did this reveal anything to our characters? Did this give us anything more? Or did it give us little bits of a plot? If not, then it is filler. Same could be used for Western media as well. If they don't have anything fun or it feels like they don't add anything to the character, it's filler.
Oh, wow. I see. So even though there are some episodes in between the main plot points of Supernatural, those could be important because they actually show us things like what Sam likes to do when Dean's not around, or when Dean actually is what Dean likes to eat.
Exactly, Timmy. That is how you could tell what is filler and what is not. Even if it's not there, if you pay attention and think about it real closely, you can always find what is and what isn't filler. Just so long as you use your brains and use your better judgment. Like for instance, this PSA? This was pure filler because I just wanted to do a long PSA gag. Now onto the fic! In his castle, Ganondorf had gathered up all his minions and monsters to party! Da 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 da. They were changing their plans for the conquest of Earth.
"We will all see it for ourselves," he said. "Morpha has informed me that Volcamia has been destroyed."
Morpha bowed to him.
"Yes, my lord,"
He said.
"He fought valiantly, but the heroes served first, so no mercy in the end."
Ganondorf clenched his fists up hard.
"These will be for this together," he growled. "And so this moment, Morpha, you will take on the responsibilities of doing my bidding."
Morpha bowed again.
"Thanks, my lord. What may I ask? What's our new approach to conquering the earth?"
Oh. Nukes. Pure, unadulterated nuclear power.
BOOM!
Ganondorf had explained that he knew of Link's current situation. Apparently, and recently, his Triforce of Currents had been broken up into 8 separate shards and scattered about across Tokyo. In a really dumb fashion.
"Link may be a possessor of one of the shards. However, without the other 7, he was rendered weaker than normal."
Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to be dialogue, that was supposed to be exposition. What the self? This author has no idea how to use those little symbols. This would be a perfect chance for Ganondorf to collect the shards, including the one Link possessed.
"And then finally, the Triforce occurrence will be mine, Ulysses."
"Brilliant idea, master,"
Morpha said.
"Well, how do we find where the shards are? They could be anywhere in Tokyo."
Well, I guess we could go to 8 dungeons, or find out the 8 maps, or... Ganondorf had told him the shards had scattered, and had planted aside several humans who carried the shards, but had no idea of it. Wow. So the author's note was right. This is like the Rainbow Crystal arc, but not quite. And Mike is right. This just feels like it's there to fill up time. The Rainbow Crystal arc actually gave us a chance to have insight into the characters, gave us a chance to learn more about Yusaki and Mamoru's relationship, gave us a chance to learn more about Makoto, had the characters grow through their experiences, was really nicely developed into relationships, and in the end, also added Minako to the group. This is just here to stall for time. Oh, and here's the other bit of trivia about the Crystal Arc. It was actually plot important. Yeah, you people don't remember, but the dub kind of fucked this up. And the dub, they only had Beryl focus on gathering energy, to the point where when the rainbow crystals were introduced, Makoto was like, maybe these crystals gave them more energy? In a completely dumbfounded way, like she was utterly shocked. Kind of like how some of the dub audience was utterly shocked by this revelation. In the Japanese version, the all gather energy thing, that was just merely a side job. Their whole goal was to find the Quincisho. And one of the things they were trying to do was find clues to get to the Quincisho. That's what the other generals were doing while Jedi was doing his thing. Once they had found where to find the crystals, that's when they started hunting them down. The Quincisho had always been the goal. But since the dub decided, Quincisho, let's cut that line out, it left it confusing. And this is why 90s dubs tend to suck. My apologies to all you Dig fans out there. But hey, if you want to see a good 90s dub, go watch Magic Knight Ray Earth. He then turned his attention to a spy cauldron. Magic cauldron! Ellipses. Show me a human who carries a Triforce shard, he said. Please deposit 10 rupees for the next additional 5 minutes. The cauldron began boiling and quavering, and then a huge puff of smoke emerged from the cauldron and showed the image of a young teenage boy, ellipses, who seemed to be trying to make a manga. There is your first target, replied Ganondorf. Now, once you find this young lad, I don't care what you do to him, but I want your Triforce shard. Understand?
Yes, this is my crystal, my lord,
said Morpha.
I shall make him proud, and so offense to Volgavia's destruction.
Then he vanished. Ganondorf then went back to his throne and smiled wickedly.
Ha! How dull-witted does he think I am?
Considering that voice I've given you, very. He thought to himself,
I have fully realized that Morpha was responsible for what happened, and if he thinks he can get away with what he has done, he is strongly mistaken. Still,
ellipses,
it won't be long now, he said aloud. I will first collect the other 7 shards, and then force the kid to hand over the one he has. Then, only the Triforce of Wisdom will be left to find.
Ellipses.
And then I'll gain the true force to cover it all. I am going to kill these kids' Volga cards.
Meanwhile, on Earth, ellipses, everyone met at the Temple of Time to assess the situation. They did now to have 3 of the 6 medallions, with only remaining 3 to find. But now things actually seemed worse than before. I can't believe the Triforce of Courage is gone, said Ray. It's not really gone, said Link. It's just been broken apart, but this is still very serious. He told them basically the same thing of what Ganon told his minions. Ganondorf by now must be well aware of this, and he'll be sworn they'll be looking for the shards of my Triforce. This is almost like when we had to find the 7 rainbow crystals, said Luna. Actually, this is exactly like how we had to find the 7 rainbow crystals. This is total deja vu. But how are we to find the humans who carry the shards? They couldn't use the Moon Wand detector, as it was only designed to detect the rainbow crystals. Not only that, but it should be gone by now. And won't return until, Yusagi has a moment of crisis, her power starts fading, and then you can pull it back. One had the same effect of the Triforce shards. Has anybody else besides me feeling like the Sensi are rather useless in this crossover?
So, a typical Sailor Moon crossover!
Yeah, pretty much! Worst of all, Link also explained to them that the Triforce of Courage was what channeled most of his powers. And with the only one shard he had, he was able to transform in 2 from his forms, but his strength would be weaker. Yes, Link, because you were obviously so super strong in the other parts. Actually, how were you able to do all your cool stuff before you found a Master Sword and did the 7 years, Jiggy? Everyone, however, was completely disappointed with Serena. She was the one responsible for the whole thing. Her and that rock crushing Link's hand. Still, as disappointing as he was, Link told everyone to stay focused and that being mad wouldn't bring the shards back. It's alright, everyone, he said in a calm voice. Alright, snapped Leah. How can you be so calm about this? You lost your Triforce, and if Ganon gets hold of the shards, If, ellipses, he gets a hold of them. Like cut him. He told him, it didn't matter how many shards anyone had. Unless the Triforce was complete, it would remain totally powerless. So even if Ganondorf were to collect most of the shards, ellipses, without all of them, ellipses, he wouldn't be gaining power anytime soon. As long as we have one of the shards, we'll be fine. I must guard them with our lives. Ellipses. Everyone just kept up with their normal everyday lives, but he sensed that Link was still working on the mystery box that Sheik had given him. Link tried everything, bashing it with a sword, dropping it from the top of the temple, even blowing up with a bomb, ellipses, even having Goku try to open it, but that stubborn box just wouldn't open.
What do you think is in that box, Serena?
Amy asked as they were walking home from school.
Where it is, I hope it's something sweet to eat, ellipses. I haven't had a snack since lunchtime.
And once again, more Usagi bashing.
Oh boy, I couldn't wait for this!
Luna frowned.
Oh, here we go. Oh, honestly, Serena, can't you ever think of something more important than food for once?
Wow, you've been really able to pull that line off well, Luna.
When you said something similar like that for 5,000 times, you've kind of grown used to it.
Serena let out a big yawn.
Yeah, ellipses, sleep, ellipses, that's important.
Luna sighed heavily.
I give up.
As the girls walked through the park, Ami saw someone she knew from her computer class sitting on a bench. It was a simple teenage boy with dark brown hair. He wore a pair of goggles over his head. No. You can't be. It can't be! No! He was also looking through his book bag and had a sad look on his face as he stared at a picture of someone. Yep, ellipses. This chapter contains Davis and Kyrie? Ah! Ah! No, 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 my oh God. No, 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 no. No. That's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Bye. See ya. I forgot! It's 101 degrees outside! I literally can't escape this without walking through the fires of hell! So, here we go!
Hello, Davis.
Ami called as she and Serena walked up to him.
Okay, here's the problem with using these dub names and
saying that we're still in Tokyo.
What Japanese boy is named Davis? You could have used Daisuke. I stuck with that.
Maybe I've just gotten too old for this, but
whenever I hear these American names in these Japanese settings, I had to ask myself, what Japanese kid would be named this? Were their folks just really into American theater and just really wanted to give their kids American names or something? Yes, it's driven me crazy lately. Like, why? I know you're trying to Americanize things, but still set in Tokyo? At least Yu-Gi-Oh! Tried to say Domino City was in America! Stupidity, by the way. Davis looked up and hastily put his book bag back together. Ami, hi, he said a little jumpy. Yeah, I know that's not Davis's normal voice, but I don't care anymore. After the proper introductions, Davis decided to walk along with the girls. He and May even spoke to each other about the computer class that day. Ellipses, all the things that bored Serena flat. They stopped along the way to get a milkshake from the nearest cafe. They even finally began talking about something that Serena liked, comic books. Dave was really into comics. Yeah, you and every other mangaka. He even hoped one day to be a great comic producer, which is why he was taking a computer course with Amy. But lately these days, he seemed to be acting a little weird. Ah, yes.
Because when I think about mangaka, I think about computers. And yet, Davis, maybe you should, learn to draw, make little art. Do fan art based off of your favorite characters. I mean, that's how Horikoshi did it, and look where he wound up.
Come on, it can't be that bad, Serena said.
Serena, all I can draw is moe characters. That's it.
Sinner!
I know. I'm a hack.
Well, I suppose the moe characters could be okay if you could write good plots. What are some of your plots?
My plot is just... It's an easy guy.
Sinner!
Where the main character is overly powered.
Oh my god, you're just committing every sin in a good manga book, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm a hack. Let's see. I really don't think I can make it work out, let's see, because... Before he could finish, he saw a group of girls from Oldamaya High, where Davis went to school, come in and sit down a few tables from them. One of the girls had short brown hair and a digital camera around her neck. She was showing her girlfriend's latest pictures from the circuit match at their school that day.
Here's Davis scoring the winning goal, the girl giggled. Boy, let's see, that Davis could sure be a dork sometimes.
One of the other girls said.
He's scoring the winning goal in soccer. That's like Japan's second most favorite sport. Next to baseball. Actually, I think he's rather cute, replied the other girl.
Davis was out there so fast, he accidentally dropped a small folder, which fell out of his bag, and onto the spot.
Davis?
Ami called, but it was already out the door.
Jeez, what was that all about?
Serena asked.
Must really he his homework.
Ami wasn't so sure about that, though. This wasn't the first time he acted all scared. She told Serena that whenever those girls came near him, or heard them saying anything about him, he ran away like a little schoolgirl. Well, that and he draws Isekai manga. I kind of would want to banish him for good forever.
Okay, before any of you start writing down your comments about Legend Bringer's immediate hate of Isekai, we should mention he does enjoy some. He actually likes Magic Knight Earth, which is his personal favorite, Escaflowne, and he does love several different seasons of Digimon, which is technically an Isekai. He just hates modern Isekai with, the overpowered RPG protagonists, like, say, Rising of the Shield Hero. He hates those to death. But you get him reading an Isekai with a girl wanting to pilot a mecha, he is all over it.
Serena's odd.
I think this guy's hiding something, she said.
Well, outside, ellipses. Davis kept on dashing until he was 2 blocks up the street. I hope he didn't see me, he said while out of breath. Then he looked and saw his book bag was open. One of his folders was missing. Oh no, ellipses, not that one, he cried. I worked so hard on it. What if Kyrie finds it? Davis was lost in his own thoughts. Then he realized he was being watched from overhead. Morpho was floating in midair, watching it from above.
Unless I'm mistaken, ellipses. That must be the kid Ganondorf showed me. The one who holds the Triforce Shard. I can't get all these people around, so I'll continue to follow him and wait until he's alone. Then I'll strike him, ellipses.
Okay, that's it. Guessing you both. That night, ellipses, after work at the karaoke cafe, Ami walked home by herself. She was hoping to run into Davis and give back the folder he accidentally dropped and left behind. Suddenly, there he was, walking down the street, singing diddy-dum, diddy-dum. She looked good, she looked good, she looked fine, she looked fine. Baby, I wish she was mine. On the way home, she saw him looking through the open doors of the gymnasium outside the Crossroads Junior High, when a same girl who had the brown hair and a camera, it's Kyrie, was doing gymnastics with a late night class she had. Davis was standing a little ways from the building, as he was hoping not to be noticed, but Amy could tell what that look in his eyes was. Amy knew that girl from a while back. Her name was Kyrie. As long as she could remember, Davis had always idolized her older brother Taiti for his soccer skills. Davis was always pushing himself to his limits to be like Taiti. But time. We're still stuck using the dumb names for Sailor Moon, right? Yes. We're using the dumb names for Digimon, right? Yes. Then why are we using Ty's Japanese name and placing some of the others? Why? Ow! Luckily, this isn't going to drive me insane. Unlike stepping out into 101-degree weather. Never again. Even became a superstar on the soccer team as well, ellipses, and gave Davis his goggles, the same ones Davis wore on his head. But why would he always act so weird whenever Kyrie came near to him? Did he have, ellipses, some kind of crush on her or something? No. You see that brown-haired guy with a scar on his left cheek, walking around with that blue-haired hottie? He has a crush on her. And I know it takes a while for them to get to know each other, but I see them getting married and having 2 kids. This is what happens when you don't watch Full Metal Panic for a day. I love that anime. Amy was still pondering over that question as she studied at night. I didn't realize how late it was until her mother came into the room. Ollie, it's almost 10 o'clock, Ulysses. So you need to be in bed by now, she asked. Ami snapped out of her trance. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, Ulysses. I'm just messing up. I'll be in bed shortly, she said. Her mother nodded. Well, I've been called and had to head back to the hospital to look after a few kids, she said. I want you to get in bed and sleep when I get back. Wait, 10 o'clock and they're just now putting up the nurse's signal? That must be the slowest hospital ever. That was a slow day. And then she was gone. Ami set down her computer, turned off most of her lights, and hoped into bed. But as she pulled at the covers, the air from the wavering blanket blew the folder she had planned to give Davis back the next morning off her night table. She bent over and picked it up. And then she saw on the floor exactly what fell on the floor. It was a manga. And it had Davis and Kyrie on the cover of it. Okay, Venus. Davis's character seemed to be striking on the page. Okay, Steve. Get ready for the ballroom blitz. Right on the top of big letters was the title. Davis Motimia as Z Zodiac in Fireball XL5. Mikey, we really gotta get you some more mecha shows than just Super Mario Nanovision. Ami couldn't resist the urge and began to read the book. The next day, Ulysses, at lunch, Amy sat with Serena and Lita. Do you think Davis has a crush on Kyrie? Get out of town. I mean, it's so obvious. Next thing you know, you'll tell me that Sosuke and Chidori have something going for each other. Ami slapped the comic book on the table. Yes, Ulysses. This comic gave me all the answers I needed, she said. Oh, speaking of filler episodes, I'm almost afraid to look back, but there is a part of me that is worried that with one of the filler episodes, Mike had mentioned Lita's parents. And I feel kind of bad if he did, because that would have been funny. Because we all know what happened to Makoto's mom and dad, right? Died in a plane crash, and this is why she hates flying. She's scared of planes. Then again, I would love it if he mentioned Ray's mom. She told him how Davis sometimes acted weird whenever Kyrie was near him, like yesterday in the cafe. Which also led to her telling him about how she knew Kyrie's older brother and all that stuff. Davis would end up staring at Kyrie for long periods of time, however, keeping his distance from her, as if he were shy to ask her out. dedicated to the comic book Davis was working on. The story was based on the future, in the 2060s. The character who resembled Davis was Colonel Steve Zodiac of the World Space Patrol. Again, you could have done something better. Better than a super marionette vision, Mikey. Anything!
Hey, this good piece of... I'm sorry, I can't finish this line. Next Next big thing in comics. Serena said, "Can I borrow it?" Serena, remember, it isn't mine, said Amy, and therefore it doesn't make it rightfully for yours to borrow. Serena sighed. Fine, I guess you're right. It still doesn't make any sense, though, said Leah. This comic is completely fit. Oh, God. We're really expected to say this. Why would he not want to submit it? Maybe he's a little shy. Amy suggested, maybe he feels he doesn't want to embarrass Kyrie.
Look, I don't see why Davis is to be embarrassed. He could show Kyrie the comic in general. Amy could go and read the book and be enraptured by it. Then she could tell Davis that if he could actually get an anime based off of his manga, she'll do a voice for it. And then Davis could pair off with a good friend of his, and then Davis will go to her house and say, hey, when I'm finished my manga and I can get an anime based off of it, will you do a role for me and play a character, but will we also get married? And then what follows is several volumes and 3 great seasons of a story about following your dreams and falling in love. And I really need to rewatch Bakuman. I love that anime.
Serena didn't understand. How could a comic book embarrass a girl? She asked. Well,
when it's something utterly lame, like, say, making a manga based off of Goblin Slayer.
Oh, you are just losing fans now!
Yep. Amy showed her Leah who Kyrie's character was. Her name was Venus, and she was a doctor of space medicine. Ellipses, and also had a romantic interest in Steve. Saying that stuff made even Serena realize why Davis was holding back. He didn't even know Kyrie liked him that much. Later that day, ellipses. Amy did give Davis back his folder. She kept the fact she knew what was in it to herself. But she was still pondering over the thoughts of Davis's troubles during her shift at the karaoke cafe. Her legs did not go unnoticed. Anyone notice that Amy's been acting pretty strange lately? Asked Ray. I mean, ellipses. She keeps on staring off to space. Mia nodded.
I don't think Amy's the only one we have to worry about, she said.
She told her that Link was driving herself crazy trying to unlock the secrets of the mystery box. It still had nothing. Well, you see, what you gotta do in order to open that box is you gotta go to 3 temples and charge up those gems.
An amphibia reference. That's the first time today. I know, Trixie. I have been growing. I've been learning.
A small soft smashing sound was heard from the back room, followed by Link's agitated growl. Oh, ellipses, no. Customers all turned to the hallway leading to the back rooms. Don't worry, folks. Everything's under control, said Darian. He and Amy headed into the back room, and saw Link holding his hand in pain after another unsuccessful attempt to open the box. I give up. Ellipses, I'll never get it open. Master, I think you should give it a rest for a while, said Darian. All this fuss over the box is starting to affect your brain. Link knew he was right, and decided that he'd let the box go for a while. She said, after all that would be made clear to him soon. Say, where's Serena? Link said. She's over an hour late to work, Ellipses. Serena was actually hiding in the park, hoping to run Davis again. This way she could probably talk some sense into Davis about talking to Kyrie. Suddenly, there he was, just walking down the street, singing do-a-diddy-diddy-dum-diddy-dum, on his way home from the computer class. It didn't take brain surgery to tell that by the look on his face, he was thinking about Kyrie. Serena waited, and then burst out from the bushes to startle him a bit. Serena, you startled me, he said.
You're not yet, pal, she said as he grabbed his arm. Come on!
Whoa, where are we going? Ellipses. Serena got Davis to tell her where Kyrie would be at this time. Davis knew all of Kyrie's hobbies and schedules and where what she smelled like and where she kept her hair by heart. But he wasn't a stalker. If she wasn't in gymnastics, he'd probably be working at the petting zoo, feeding the cute animals, or at the park on a nice day reading a book. He found her on the park on the bench.
Okay, Davis, you know what it's time for. It's time for you to go out and make your move.
Right, Surya, I will. Hey, Kyrie, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. I'm just thinking about all the jerk boys in my life.
Really?
Yeah, you know, TK used to be a really swell guy, but then one night he came over to see me with Barry White and Jello shots. What a loser, right?
Yeah, a loser.
Dang it! There goes my backup plan!
Surya giggled. Call it a hunch, but enough of that. Now it seems to me the best thing you could do is go right over there and tell her how you feel.
Davis looked out. He's going to have to explode for shyness. Alright, Ellipses. No, wait, Ellipses. I can't just go out and tell her like that. He said nervously while waving his arms in front.
Surya grabbed his arm. Come on, Davis. Ellipses. Quit being such a shy sop and get out there.
So he shoved him out there. And this got Kyrie's attention as he looked up from her book.
Davis?
Oh, boy! Davis muttered under his breath.
Just go for it, Surya whispered from behind the bushes. You can do it. Go! Go! Go!
Kyrie got up from the bench and walked a little bit over.
Were you in the bushes?
She asked as she pointed to the leaves in his hair.
Anne, is that you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking I was reading Amphibia for a moment. Davis brushed him away.
Ellipses, no,
he said.
I was, Ellipses, just walking under the trees.
Oh boy, Mickey Mouse, we are doomed, aren't we?
After that, they just seemed to stand there for a few moments, not even bothering to make a move towards each other.
Davis hasn't said a word.
Kyrie thought to herself.
Do you think maybe he wants to ask me dash dash?
The sad truth was, Kyrie called Davis cute in the cafe for a reason. You guessed it. She was thinking about how hot Kaname is? Or how hot Millie Ashford is? Because, you know, in Code Geass, Millie is extremely hot. But, so is Shirley in that fawn outfit she was wearing back in Nunnally's Journey Through Wonderland. Oh, I really need to go watch some more Code Geass. I'll be right back. Unfortunately, like Davis, she was too shy to ask him to go steady with her. Steady! We suddenly stepped to the 50s. Finally, Davis' smile looked right at her.
Kyrie!
He said.
Yes?
Kyrie, Ellipses. Kyrie, I think I'm
having gas problems. Surya saw the whole thing.
That's it. Ellipses, go on.
She squealed under her breath, but then suddenly the water in the fountain nearby burst up like a geyser. Kyrie gasped, and Davis turned towards the fountain.
Hey, what's happening?
He snapped.
Think I wait 10 seconds?
Suddenly, out of the water popped a huge, ugly-looking cell surrounded by a long tentacle of blue water.
Well, hello there!
He snickered. Surya recognized that ugly thing anywhere.
Morpha! She snapped. Just had to ruin the moment, didn't he?
Hey, villain code of honor! Morpha slithered as far as he could across the way. Davis stood in front of Kyrie to protect her.
Who are you?
He growled.
Don't Kyrie, Ellipses. Take me, but let her go.
Davis!
My dear Lord, that's exactly what I want. Morpha chuckled. I have no interest in that girl, Ellipses. It's you that I want.
He stopped a few yards before them.
Or rather, you have something that I want. Ah!
He used his powers of water to control to launch the smaller, longer tentacle for his body. Smack! Right to Davis' chest.
Ah!
Kyrie screamed in fright at what was happening as the tentacle seemed to send electrical currents through Davis' body. Ellipses. Then finally, there it was. I can't do the walking down the street joke. It's not walking. A small golden fragment glowing in his chest.
Hey, that's a shard for the Master Strike Force!
She cried. She knew things were about to get real ugly. Luckily, her Moon also came with a telepathic alert system that could beam the signal to Luna. This way, she could summon up the others and have them join the fight. Ain't that convenient?
Now that's done. Time to show this water boy what it means to ruin the moment. She growled. Moon Prism Power! Let's see the show.
See the change to Super Sailor Moon. I keep telling you, not yet! Morphle was ever so giddy with excitement that he held the first Triforce shard in his grip.
Come on, Bree. We have a meeting with Ganondorf.
He snickered.
I can help it.
Huh? Curry turned around.
Super Sailor Moon.
Moon nodded.
You had some nerd barging into a romantic moment. As he growled, Kimi no wate? Sora yuku kigo? Oshiyokyo? We just did the Ulysses joke in Japanese.
Hey, Trixie, we gotta add some variety to the sketch. I think everybody's falling asleep here.
Oh!
Morphle grunted.
I got Smithy to try and fuel my plans, ellipsis. So I have something on my own, huh?
His tentacles shot more energy into Davis and began surrounding him with smoke. Oh! Ellipsis, what's happening to me? He cried.
Kari screamed again. You go run and hide, said Moon. I'll handle this.
She leapt up to do her high jump kick at Morphe's tentacle, but she passed right through it and it all came out all wet.
Huh?
Ellipses, see what's there. Ellipses, you cannot hurt the water.
Sure you can. It's called electricity. Have you ever played Pokemon?
Too bad, Ellipses. Well, sir, my colleague will have a nice filet made for you.
I'm a reality check, pal. You came here alone?
But you didn't leave here alone, called a rather disgruntled voice from inside the smoke where Davis was standing. When the smoke cleared, Davis wasn't standing there anymore, but in fact a human-shaped warrior monster with a paintbrush in one hand and a roll of thick paper on the other hand. Wasn't this monster already used in Sailor Moon? Are you comic creep? Ellipses. King of all comic books! He hissed.
Ew, let's see, what an ugly dude,
said Moon. The monster scared at her.
You're not questioning me? Well then, have a taste of real art!
He raised his paintbrush arm and fired a streak of energy at her. Sailor Moon straight and jumped out of the way, only to jump again to avoid 3 more blasts.
You're pretty quick, Sticker Girl! Ellipses, but I'm stickier! Oh!
Comic Creep raised another arm to stare at Moon with a big throw of paper. Ah! She struggled and squirmed about, but the paper was stronger than it looked.
I always wanted to be in college, but this is ridiculous,
she squealed. Comic Creep slowly walked up to her with a paintbrush ready to fire.
Say goodbye, Sticker Dwarf!
He snickered. Suddenly a rose fell from the ground, smacked Comic Creep across the face.
I demand to know who would do that!
He snarled. Then one by one, the rest of the team stepped to the scene.
Excellent timing, guys,
said Sailor Moon. Tuxedo Comet landed in the air and cut the paper with Big Ron's sword. You all right, Sailor Moon?
I will be, now thanks to you.
Link and the other scouts were facing the monster. Link pulled out his sword and, put that away. We don't need to see your sword. Pull up your pants. It charged for him. Ha! He swung his blade, but missed completely, due to a lack of speed and control. Concrete smirked and smacked Link hard, knocking away backwards. Link was down already.
Master?
Cried Mercury, and Link's face walked up to him. Link lay there, all weak and shaky. I'm, ellipses, useless without my Triforce, he cried weakly. So, in terms of all the other Links out there in the universe, you are the limpiest. Because a lot of other Links don't have the Triforce of Courage. I'll look after him, Mercury. You go help the others, said Venus. Mercury nodded, joining the fight. Sailor Moon told everyone what had happened, that Morphle was here. He took a Triforce shard from Amy's friend Davis and turned to a monster. Well, that means destroying him is out of the question, said Mars. And Silver Crystal wouldn't be able to help them this time. What could they do? We could still fight him and weaken him, said Jupiter. We can't just let him attack any people.
Take your best shot! I'm ready for you!
Comic Creep growled. The others stood their grounds. Mars went first. She pulled out a Megatron hammer and took a huge leap, ready to pound. But Comic Creep had another special ability. As the hammer neared him in his brush, he fired a beam ahead of it, changed it to a harmless feather duster that did no damage at all. Huh?
Ah! Nice try, Sailor!
He then punched her away. Jupiter tried her thunder crash, but Comic Creep shielded himself by using his brush to put out the lightning rods around him. Everything the Senshi tried ended up being backfired by the monster's abilities.
You did your things! Now it's my turn!
Growled Comic Creep. He stared at a lot of the scouts, even Tuxedo Common, and his paper, and began to use his brush to cover it in a strong paste, making it stronger. Even Venus had to abandon Link so she could defend him, and she got caught too.
Ah! Ellipses, now that's over! What should I do with you all first?
Comic Creep asked wickedly. Link struggled to get up. You, Ellipses, won't be doing anything to them, he snapped. I won't allow you to.
Allow me. It is only you plan to do that, snarled Color Creep. You can barely move. Oh.
Link just stood there with all his confidence and all his courage flaring in his eyes. A true hero is never by his strength alone, but by the strength of his heart. Link, wrong moral here. This is not Hercules. Well, then his body began to glow, ellipses, and far, far away, back in the Temple of Time, the mystery box began glowing too. Then, ellipses, poof, ellipses, it opened. A small ball of glowing light traveled like a speeding comet right into the battle scene. Whoa, check it out, said Jupiter. What is that thing? Asked Lexio.
It's an annoying creature.
I'm sorry, what? The light circled around and around Link. Then, ellipses, poof, ellipses, it turned into a tiny young lady, about 3 inches high, with 2 pretty wings coming out of her back. She called.
Sure feels good to be out there.
The scouts were amazed. Is that, ellipses, a fairy? Link's eyes lit up. I don't think that's an ordinary fairy. Yes, Link, because fairies are so common on Earth. Looked at the little creature. No, ellipses, no, ellipses, Navi? He asked in no more than a tone. Ding! Now, excuse me a sec. What did you say, Beavis? I called her an annoying character. She keeps going, hey, look, listen, every time I play the game. Ladies and gentlemen, you may think that happens constantly, but I want to remind you, and this is coming from an Ocarina fan, who's played Ocarina more times than he cares to count. This is the most misnomer. She only does that when you're not going off on a quest. If you're doing a side quest, she'll remind you to get your head out of your ass and focus on the mission. She only does the whole look out and hey when there's something important. This is actually useful. Now, every time one of you people ever has this urge to try and insult people like Navi who are only there to help, I want you to sit and think, how would they really react if they actually heard you say these mean things? Like, for instance, if you were trying to target and Navi heard you say all those mean things about her, she would probably go, I'm not helping you target. Nope. I know the creature's weakness, but you're going to have to figure it out on your own, and then you die. Because you were mean to her. So remember, class, never, ever be mean to your support characters. They're not really as annoying as you may think. They're only as annoying as you let them be. Thank you. Please remember to show kindness to your support characters, because think about how you want to be treated. Fairy smile and giggle.
Hi, Link.
Little sneeze.
Nothing to see.
She said in her tiny cute little voice.
And I have a present for you.
She rubbed her little hands together and a tiny little light fell into Link's hands and then, ellipses, poof. Yes, you are using it a lot, Myken. That's called onomatopoeia. There in Link's hand was a mask. It actually looked like Link's face, only it had white hair and a stronger looking stare. Link smiled with confidence. I could have asked for anything better, he said. Alright, you, he snarled the comic creep. Prepare to be busted! Everyone, including the monster, is confused.
You expect me to feel worried over a little mask?
He grunted. Oh, you will, ellipses. Once I do this! Did you have to take off your pants again? Snarled Link. He held the mask up and shouted out, Go fierce deity! Oh god, you do that, don't you? You really go off and do that when you play Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, don't you? I'm just thinking, you're playing Majora's Mask and every time you bring out the fierce deity mask, you're like, Go fierce deity! Bloop! And then you put that on. This is ridiculous! And then slapped the mask on, causing his body to transform into a huge burst of light. So, will this make him even older? Because the Fierce Deity mask turns him into Adult Link's body. And now, what? Is it just going to turn him into just a normal Link with Everyone covered their eyes. In the light fans, Link looked quite different. He was still in his true form, only now, ellipses, his hair had gone white. His face had paint marks all over it. I couldn't see his pupils anymore. Ah! We're cheaping out. The best part of all was his outfit changed. Now he was wearing a tunic covered in shining armor, and even his muscles had grown slightly larger. The scouts found it hard to breathe, ellipses. Well, it was probably from being ensnared by the paper.
Here, ellipses. What's this?
Smiled Comic Creep. Link stepped forward and spoke in a much deeper, more serious voice. You may fight well, Comic Creep, in the old style, but you caused me enough trouble. Now you face, ellipses, this fierce deity.
Again with the first TMNT movie reference!
This is not the first time Mike has done this. I think Mike may be almost as big of a fan of the first Turtles movie as I am. Comic Creep snuffed.
Whatever, ellipses. I can still take you on.
He yelled as he blasted several shots from his powerful paintbrush towards Link.
Master, look out!
Cried Moon, but Link stood there and drew out a double helix sword, which was about the same length as the Bigoron sword. Link swung back the blade and slashed firmly at the blast, which deflected them, and sent them towards the scouts, freeing them from the paper. Hey, ellipses, alright! Link nodded and began walking towards the monster.
Hey, ellipses, don't understand it! Comic Creep cried. Maybe you should get into, ellipses, type bondings!
Link was completely wrapped over the paper. I really hate it when people use mods to try to use Fierce Deity in other places besides the boss room.
Ha ha ha! Ellipses, too bad, hero! Ellipses, huh?
The paper cocoon began quivering, then it tore out completely.
No, ellipses, this ellipses can't be!
Cried Comic Creep. Link poised the sword out. And now, ellipses, the final ordeal, he said deeply. Everyone wants thought, ellipses, but Link just put his sword away and got his Zorkarana. Master, what are you doing? Asked Darian.
Hey, what's this?
Ellipses, said Navi.
He's gonna play the Song of Healing.
Song of Healing? Said Mercury. What's that? As he got her answer as Link began playing this, ellipses, ever so soothing song, which magically made more music fly through the air. Marta suddenly felt all relaxed and cozy inside. Whoa, that music, ellipses, she said. It's so, ellipses, soothing, added Venus. Then the music emitting a supersonic wave right under the monster.
Wait, what's happening?
Comic Creep cried as his body began glowing. No! And in a flash, the song ended.
Refresh!
The monster changed back into Davis and fell exhausted on the ground. When the buses, Kari ran over to Dais and picked him up.
Davis, ellipses, Davis, talk to me!
She cried. Davis opened his eyes.
Kari?
He asked weirdly. Kari's eyes lit up. Ellipses,
Welcome back.
she said. Then gazed at Link and the Senshi.
Thanks a lot for saving him.
Link and the Senshi smiled. All in a day's work, said Link. Then the others headed off. Davis was back on his feet by sunset. Once again, he and Kari were standing by each other. This time they were standing even closer together. Davis spoke up first without hesitating. Kari, I'm really sorry for what happened today, Davis said shyly. Kari kept on smiling.
It's not your fault, Davis, she said. You were trying to protect me. That was very brave.
Davis looked confused.
Really? You mean you don't hate me?
He asked. Kari was plussy, twiddling his fingers.
No, ellipses, ellipses, kind of hoping you want to, sass.
She stuttered. Davis cut in.
Do you want to, ellipses?
Go steady with me, they both said together. They burst out into laughter. Both answered yes. Sadly, this was not as romantic as you may think. Actually, what was more romantic was the date on Owl House. Thank you. Surprisingly, Ami were watching down in the corner. They all smiled and slanted each other high five. Link introduced everyone to his very partner Navi. Told them all the story of how she came to him, then left him after the battles. Oh, Ellipses, that's so sweet, said Venus. Link also explained to them how the fierce deity mask was able to transform him into a godlike warrior with 3 times as much power as he had before. Song of Healing, he remembered. Hero Time is back in action, he said with a smirk. Morphin might have gone away with the first shard, but still the other shards remain. Score for the Triforce of Curse was tied at 1-1. Let's hope we can change that odd soon. Let's see. Oh, This is hilarious to say, put someone in your stories without asking them, considering how many times Mike has put in references to to other people in this story. Now, Mike is going to try to use the Fireball XL5 theme in here, but I've chosen a different song to sing for this ending. And this one is going to be a blast. Sometimes I feel you are cheating me. Then you kiss me and my mind is free. But then I think I should let you know that I've got friends. So baby, listen to me. A shooting star will shoot you and Mars will go to war. The man in the moon will jump on you if you don't love me no more. I saw you in someone else's car. You told me that he won't go too far. That may be so, but you let him know that I've got friends. So baby, listen to me. You tell me that I'm the man for you. Yet you do things you should never do. So now hear this warning once again. Yes, I've got friends. So baby, listen to me. A shooting star will shoot you, and Mars will go to war. The man in the moon will jump on you if you don't love me no more. If you don't stop making me lose face, I will have you put up there in space. So just do what I'm telling you, 'cause I got friends. Baby, listen to me. A shooting star will shoot you, and Mars will go to war. A man in the moon will jump you if you don't love me no more. That was Shooting Star featuring the greatest band in the galaxy, aka Cliff Richards and the Shadows.
You know, there's only gonna be so few Thunderbirds fans out there in the audience.
Hey, I'm not a Thunderbirds fan. I'm just a Lakar fan. But that's because I watch quality stuff and not Game Grumps.
I had to work in that Sixer reference!